Hey everybody, Jason from iAnimate here. How's everybody doing? So in this snippet, we're going to talk about parenting, locators, and constraints. So anybody who knows my workflow knows that I'm sort of like a non-technical animator. I like to approach animation from a visual aspect, like more of a 2D kind of solving the posing, solving the composition, all that kind of stuff. But there is some technical stuff that we have to know when we're animators, right? So we have to be able to make a character hold something or throw something or pick something up or whatever. And in my experience, you know, you can use parenting and you can use constraints and you can use locators. When I'm thinking about parenting, I'm always thinking about my child. You know, my child comes first. And that's the way I think about parenting, right? So if I'm doing a parenting in animation, same thing. I will think about the child first, right? So that's what you'll select first, and then you hit the parent. The parent will be like the hand. So let's say we have a character like Skyscraper here, and we want him to have a ball in the hand, right? So we go ahead and create like a NURBS or a poly sphere, doesn't really matter. And let's go ahead and bring it upwards here. And let's get into his hand. And the good thing about parenting is it'll always be with the hand, but you can still move it around, right? So let's say, okay, so child first, right? In parenting, the child always comes first. So we have the child selected here, and then we go ahead and shift select the hand, and then let's go ahead and parent it, right? So under edit, parent. Now under the little box here, it says preserve position or move objects. I usually do preserve position because usually I just get it into the hand and I'm done, right? So parent. And now when I move the hand, like it's in there, right? Now, if I had to roll this like down to the bottom of the fingers while the hand is moving, I can still do that, right? Because it's parented on there, right? So I can still key this. If I kind of hide myself here and look in the channel box, there's no keys on here, right? So if I set a key there, and then if I wanted to move it down to the bottom of the hand, let's say I'm just gonna roll it around, right? This sort of thing, right? So I can do that, right? So parenting is quite useful, right? So like imagine you're doing like a sort of a magic trick or something, like, or, you know, have a coin like travel between your fingers, or, you know, you're just sort of like rolling a ball around like this sort of thing. You can still use parenting. It's very useful. It's a very useful tool, right? Now, when you think about constraints, why would you use constraint if parenting works as well? If you have to let go of this ball or throw it up in the air, then you can't really use parenting, right? Because let's show you, right? So like, let's say we're going to throw this ball up in the air, kind of like throw the hand like this, right? And we bring the ball up in the air like this, and then we move the hand from here. It doesn't work, right? Because it's going to change your trajectory of the ball, right? So the ball is going to go up and then it's going to go across. And now you can go in and see if you can do it on ones, you know, by eye, you know, and fix it that way. But the better way to do it is really to constrain it. So the way I think about constraints is that it's sort of the opposite of parenting. It still attaches to the hand, but it's sort of like this, the actual order that you select things is the opposite, right? So I think of the old Depeche Mode song, Master and Servant. The master would be the hand, and the servant would be the object that you're going to put into the actual hand, right? So the servant is always going to follow the master, right? So master and servant. I think of that song because, you know, that's the way I select things, right? And again, like parenting, it's the child first, and then it's the parent, right? Because children always come first, like in your head, right? So I'll go ahead and create a poly sphere here, okay? And let's go ahead and throw it up into the hand again, okay? So we have that. Okay, now I'm going to minimize myself here just so I can show you exactly what goes on when you constrain something, because it basically locks the translates and the rotates, okay? And this is important. So when I'm doing this, right, so master and servant, okay, so picking that first and then the ball, and then I go up to animation here. If you're under modeling, go to animation, go to constrain and parent, right? Parent constraint. Now I just maintain offset here because I basically place it into the hand, and that's fine, okay? Okay, so go ahead and add that. Now we don't see anything new here, but we see now that this is basically locked. Let's put this to a different color. So I can move it, but it's sort of like faking me out, right? Because when I change key or when I update, it pops back, right? Which is an issue, right? Because you want to be able to roll this in the hand. You know, right now it's, if we hit S on here, we'll see two new attributes. We see this blend parent here, okay? And we'll change that to 1, you know, you can just basically click it and put 1 or use your middle mouse. And we can also see here, hero, left hand, FK world position, right? And we want to be able to key that too. Okay, so that'll be keyed. Okay, so we have this. So it's 1 and 1. So now basically we have our hand and the ball is attached to the hand, right? So again, I can't move it around in the hand, but if I wanted to just keep it in the one exact position and just throw it, I can still do that, right? So I can go to, let's say, frame 10 and then rotate the hand, right? And then on this key, probably set another key, 1 and 1, right? So it's constrained, still constrained. Now here, you can't just hit S. You have to go ahead and right select on here, okay? And then go key selected, right? So it's red. Okay, so we have it 1 and 1, both red, right? Both keyed. And then over one frame, set another key and another key here. Okay, and then we're going to basically make these 0. Okay, so the blend parent, I'm going to put to 0. Okay, and this I'm going to change to 0. Okay, and it's keyed now, right? So I can flip from one frame to the next. The ball's not changing or anything, but now I can move my hand back, and I can also move the ball, right? Because now it's basically not attached, right? So we have that position there, and it's no longer attached, right? So I can move that up, and I can move the hand down, right? That way, like once it gets back into the hand, you know, then we can go ahead and position it back again, right? So usually what I try to do is do it over one frame, right? So here, I'll go ahead, make sure that that's keyed, and this is keyed, okay? And then I'll go back into here to 2, set a key on 1, right? So now it's going to pop back into the hand, right? Because we have that maintained position, right? Zoop. So it's going to pop back into the hand, and this we want to change back to 1 as well, right? Okay, so we have that over one frame, right? Boom. Okay, and now it's back in the hand, right? So now I can basically move the hand again, and it's going to start to rotate with it, right? So here we've got it off the hand, and here it's back in the hand,